Here coming up on Unexplained Cases, we are very happy to welcome to the show Kamara Brown from Rawwintuition. Now, Kamara is quite successful in all the business projects that she is involved in. Okay, let's run them down. She's an entrepreneur, a natural hairstylist, a model, influencer, and don't forget, she's a podcaster. In just 4 short years, this former choreographer and journalism grad has taken her passion for hairstyling and created a thriving salon. Well, the work is so good, people have to make appointments many weeks in advance. That's a pretty good problem to have. Her business success has included launching hair products, developing a wig line, and hosting a podcast called Deep Condition. Kamara is one of 7 children, a first-generation Jamaican who calls Southern California home, but she is still very engaged in finding out more about her roots. She has asked Maryam to investigate the National Hero Park in Kingston, Jamaica, specifically the story of the 18th century leader of Jamaican-Maroons, referred to as the Nanny of the Maroons. Now, this is pretty intriguing, somewhat unexplained. During years of warfare with the British in Jamaica, they suffered huge losses, and some believe that is because of the supernatural powers of the Nanny. Whoa. So what will Maryam find out during her remote view? Possibly she can solve the mystery of the Nanny of the Maroons. A special Unexplained Cases Live, a salute to African American history, is next.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am. I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am Black History.
We are Black History.
And welcome, everybody, to another edition of Unexplained Cases Live. You got Darren Dito.
Hello.
Medium. And myself, Rick Garner. What's up, people? How
Good
you
evening,
doing?
sir and ma'am.
See? How's everybody? Man, okay. See,
My lady would be better than ma'am.
okay, see, from the South, that is a, like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I mean,
It just makes me feel old.
Miss Maryam.
See, I know. I mean, hey, we actually are showing some respect. She's not used to that, Darren.
Well, she's in LA. She's lucky to get somebody to hold a door for her, probably, right? Everyone's like in a hurry.
It's very true. A lot of doors hit me in the face.
Yeah, I see.
A lot of honking. Hey, get out of my way! Yes,
Oh
exactly.
my God! Yesterday we were shopping for furniture, and I swear to God, Bruce. Usually, if someone honks, Bruce will always take their side because I've always done something wrong. But that yesterday it was non-stop, and he's like, "Honestly, you haven't done anything wrong, and everyone's honking at you." And I'm like,
They're just saying hi. It's nice to see you.
with this
Except
finger,
that
though.
I was gonna say, okay, read between the lines. That's what I figured was coming. Yes.
Los
Right.
Angeles, man, it is just a love fest. It's awesome.
If you're not aggressive, you can't make it there. When you get on the roads, if you're like, it's like you expect somebody to let you in when you're getting on an on-ramp. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
No.
You have to run and cut right in front of somebody.
You just have to also not care. Like, none of that bothers me. I don't care.
See,
You can't be in tears and
You
take
got to detach, right?
it just bounces off of you. So, see. Hey, Sean. Hey, Michael Chin. Sup, UC team. What's up with
very
you?
nice.
I know. Got Irene and Aaron. So several folks are checking in. Mr. Greg.
Yeah, I see that.
Thank you for wishing us a great show. He's actually on right after us. So folks watching us on the Pun TV network.
Outstanding.
Look for his show. Which is fascinating because it deals with Spirit Box, and that's all it is. So I love his technique. I love what he does. So tune in for that afterwards. But in the meantime, we've got something incredibly exciting tonight, and of course, the first layer of that excitement is, of course, having Miss Terry with us.
The gorgeous and talented Terry.
It's Princess Leia.
What's up?
I feel like I'm so underdressed. I mean, she's looking at that. She's like, yeah, it's like
You're our only hope, Terry.
please save the show as it goes down in flames.
Good luck with that.
If folks have had a chance to watch these before, hopefully you have. We've had a celebration of Black history going on. It started actually before February, which is traditionally Black History Month. But we have had a unique celebration running. We will continue to run this monthly. Terry has been along the way. She's been a guest. She's been hosting. It's been an interesting ride so far, hasn't it, Terry?
It's been quite a ride. I blame Maryam.
Well, we all do, actually. At the end of the day, it's all their fault. So,
Exactly.
Good point.
Exactly.
And it's fine. It's fine like that. Skeleton Crew, Kira, Ronnie. Yeah, we got some more folks in there. So let's get things rolling because we have a very special guest. And actually, we're all going to step away into the green room and have some snacks while you and Kamara Brown to have a conversation.
Hello,
So,
how are you? Nice to see you.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. So let's.
I am so freaking excited. I
know. I feel like I've just been waiting for this.
I've been wanting to interview you in so many different ways, and when this came through, I was like, "Okay, we're doing this because this needs to be done." I am so proud of you, lady. You have worked it with an E. Okay, in 4 years, you have just done so much, and the first thing I want to talk about is one of the reasons why I wanted you on is because, you know, as we know, hair is such a big deal in Black culture.
Yeah.
And political, social, emotional. And one of the things that I'm proud of is that the Crown Act that was passed in 2019 is so that we don't get discriminated in the workplace.
Yeah.
The sad part is that we needed an act in order to be protected to wear our hair however we like, which basically is what it's about. Not wearing it a certain way, but having the right to wear it anyway.
Right.
How it grows naturally. If we want to do something crazy and funky, I don't think, since I've known you, you've done my hair so many different ways. I've never worn it the same way twice.
I know.
But that's the freedom, you know, that's the freedom that we deserve to have. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you started and the journey.
Okay.
And I know that when I was a kid, my grandmother would forget that I was a human when she was doing my hair. So early on, I learned how to do my own hair. What was your journey in terms of doing hair and doing your own hair and then kind of moving through to do other people's hair?
I've always wore my hair natural, as far as not getting a relaxer or, you know, having it like processed. Well, later on within my years, I did dye my hair in my college days. But yeah, there just came a time when I was in high school and I started to kind of find my own as far as, you know, how I was dressing, how I was feeling. And I realized my mom did put a lot of effort into making sure that I went to the hair salon, got my hair pressed, and, you know, looked really great for school or for, you know, other occasions. But there was a time where I was just like, I don't want to press my hair anymore. I want to wake up and feel that, you know, I want to embrace how my hair naturally wants to fall. You know, if my hair just wants to be in a fro that day, you know, something about that just made me feel confident. Especially because at that time I wasn't seeing a lot of, you know, girls or women wearing their hair out. There was always this need for straightening your hair. So I kind of felt like I was rebelling, you know, when I was in high school. But it wasn't until I reached college and I started to talk with other women and really kind of saw the world a little bit differently than, you know, being in high school. I realized it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to feel that one day you want to braid your hair and the next day you just wanted to, you know, wear it out. And so it wasn't until then, and working with other women, that I realized not only do I enjoy doing my hair, but I want to also make other women feel special and beautiful as well. And, you know, to service them in that. So, and
that's that. It's funny that you said that, because as you were speaking, I realized, oh, that's right. We're two different generations, because there was the Blaxploitation era. There was Pam Grier and all of these different women that were represented in that genre, that I guess I did have a period of time when all of that, you know, because I was alive in the, you know, late 60s and 70s when afros really became a big deal. And so it's true that there are generations that did not see that. I mean, everyone knows about it, but they weren't living at the time that it was truly popular. So it is what I love is that the work that you do is so creative, and the way you think about not only the hairstyles that you do, but how you market yourself and what because how I found you was going through Instagram and saw one of the pictures in the open is you with purple hair, and it's my favorite picture of you. And I remember tracking you down and finding out that you were a natural hairstylist because I wanted to grow my relaxer out, and that was my big thing, that I wanted to find somebody that I could still be cute but I could take care of my hair. And that's how I found you. The visuals that you have on your Instagram are just amazing, and the work that you do is amazing. So so for my big question for you, because when I met you, it was probably right when you started working at a salon. And it only took a very short amount of time for you to move up to the level where, people were losing their minds and you were getting really busy. And when did you feel it was ready to start Rawwintuition? When were you ready to do that?
I felt that I was ready, and it wasn't until I finished. So before I focused on hair, I was working in after-school programs, teaching second grade, and also high school students. So it wasn't until I left that position that I realized this is something that I can really do, that I feel really good, being able to inspire and help other women. So I decided to take that leap and work into a salon. And that was a little different for me, even thinking that I should be in a salon, because I had my fair share of salon experience. And I think that's kind of what made me feel like, I don't know, like, should I be in a salon? Can I do hair? But I am thankful that I did take that leap into my first salon, because I met some amazing women that are still my friends and peers to this day. And so I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, it wasn't until the journey of me deciding, okay, I'm going to leave my school job to really pursue hair full time, that I was going to make Rawwintuition. And what Rawwintuition really is for me is just having this raw, natural talent. A lot of the things that I was doing, as far as you mentioned the photo that
the purple hair,
that we met. During that time, I was doing a lot of modeling, and I was also freelancing as a photographer. So like Rawwintuition was just built. It's actually really cool that you even asked me that, because sometimes I don't think about that too much, about my whole journey.
You don't have time.
And that's what Rawwintuition is just having this raw, like, understanding of what you enjoy and really pursuing your passion. And just being self-taught, because a lot of times I've met so many amazing people that are self-taught in what they do, and they are like blowing it out the water right now, so that's how I ended up with Rawwintuition.
I love it. And you made a good point, because I was talking to a friend today that we've been friends since college, and we were talking about how social media, say what you will about it, good or bad, the one thing I will say is that it really gives entrepreneurs a chance to really go for what they love and what they really want to do, and kind of, skip the part, you could be doing it as a side hustle for a while and see how it does. And then it can become your world and your life. That is tremendous. Especially I think for women and women of color, to be able to really put themselves out there authentically and find their audience. And we're looking for each other. It's like all of the YouTubers that do, natural hair and things like that, they know each other. And it's so cool to see this community, blow up. What has it been like for you? Because I know it was very different when you began to now, to watch this natural, movement rise. What has it been like for you to watch that?
It's been amazing to watch, and it's also been amazing to be a part of it, because I feel like every day I'm learning something new. Every day there's, a style that women come in and saying that they're interested in, because they were influenced by, if it was in our YouTube or if it was in the magazine or music video. It's just,
Right.
I feel like it's nothing but inspiration happening over and over and over again.
Which is cool.
And it's really cool to see how happy women are, especially men. I really have to say that my men clientele, I'm so proud of you guys because I know how hard it is for men, especially, you know, Black men, to wear their hair natural and feel that it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So it was already hard for women to feel accepted in wearing their hair out, you know? Men deal with the same thing. They feel like they either have to cut their hair or they have to lock it.
Yeah.
And so it's just been an amazing journey, just being able to service so many different people and just seeing how happy everyone is being able to say like, oh, I never knew I could look beautiful, you know, with my hair this way. And so it's been great.
Yeah, you definitely have empowered all of us for sure. And the other thing, when you're talking about inspiration from different resources, the thing that is just making me so happy is how many collections I've seen. Well, first of all, it took us a while to get a bunch of Black girls on the runway, but the fact that I'm seeing so many that have cornrows on the, you know, on the runway, and just so many beautiful versions of natural hair on the runway now. It feels good to see things progress, because we're in such a volatile time, a strange time, that it is really beautiful when you get to kind of see in little ways how different communities are progressing and how different things are progressing. Tell me about the Paris trip.
Oh, the Paris trip, yes. So I went to Paris with a group of my amazing friends who are hairstylists. We did a workshop out there, and it was amazing. That was my first time actually going to Paris. So I got to see, you know, such a beautiful city, and also meeting the women that were there, especially the ones that were our model. It was really cool to see how they felt about us coming, because they don't get a lot of stylists, you know, traveling, especially natural hair or texture stylists, showing how to do their hair, which products to use. And, you know, the States have a lot of products, you know, that are offered to us that other places, you know, aren't able to receive. So it was really nice being able to kind of explain, you know, how to use these products, how, you know, to make sure you keep your hair healthy. And, you know, when I did go there, some of the models were a little afraid of rocking their natural hair, or they were afraid to have a textured look. And so, you know, talking to some of them and really having them understand, like, you know, you're still beautiful, wearing your hair out, wearing textured hair or big hair. And once we got the looks on them, they did not want to take it off. So that was really exciting. That was a great experience, and I would love to go back.
Yeah. Oh, you will. You know you will. Tell me, before we get into the location, the last thing I want to talk to you about is, I personally don't know how you do it, but you have a new line, a new beauty product, one of many to come, Define Me, and you're also about to launch Decondition, the podcast. How? You know, I mean, you work 7 days a week. The number of clients are insane. How are you? And you said to me you didn't think you were doing enough. That's my favorite. How are you doing all of this?
Hey, you know, living in LA will really make you feel like you are just not doing it.
I know.
No, but yeah, I'm so excited with, you know, it wasn't until unfortunately our pandemic that hit last year that I realized there's a lot of things that I want to do other than hair. You know, I focused so many years on making sure that I built a foundation for, you know, the salon and my career. And I realized I'm fun. I have other things that I enjoy that I want to, you know, show everyone else. And so, I launched my first product, which is the Define Me Texture Foam last year. And I'm so happy with all the reviews and just, you know, results from everyone. It's so great. And with my host, Nikki Ray, we will be doing the Deep Condition podcast. I'm super excited.
I love that name so much.
I'm super excited. I just feel like we really wanted to create the podcast because not only are we hairstylists, but, our clients are like our friends, just having, it's almost like being in a therapy session. But, being able to relax at the same time and, walk out feeling beautiful. So we wanted to come together and make a podcast to basically share our salon experience, conversations, and hoping that everyone can kind of walk away with a different, understanding or perspective on things.
Right.
And yeah, we're excited.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're doing it. I really am.
Thank you.
Now, let's get into what we're going to be investigating tonight. I know that you and your siblings are the first generation Jamaican-Americans, or is it?
So actually just a few of my siblings. I have other siblings that were born in Jamaica.
Okay.
But yes, I'm first Jamaican-American within my household. And I love my parents. Both my parents are from Jamaica. And, I'm so thankful to be able to go to Jamaica and kind of see, where my parents grew up, because especially being from California or in Los Angeles specifically, sometimes I feel like, we can take what we have for granted.
Yeah.
And going back to Jamaica and just getting an understanding of just like how to really truly live, for yourself and feel good about it. There are things that I don't really too much know, within my family tree. And I really do want to dig more into my culture, my Jamaican culture. So I'm excited that I got to pick this location.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yes.
I love it. So
I feel like I'm going to really get to learn something. Huh?
Tell me about the location. Tell me.
Okay, so I chose the National Hero Park in Kingston, Jamaica. And at that National Hero Park, there's only about 8 heroes. And so I wanted to look more into the women, that they chose. And I'm all about, learning. There's so many women that came before me that have done such great things, which has allowed me to be where I am today.
Right.
And so I feel like it was important that I kind of looked into one specifically. Her name is Nanny the Maroons. I'm so excited to kind of dig right into, what she did and how much of an impact she has left.
Right. I always find it interesting to Maryam. I always find it's so interesting to talk about the people that aren't the mainstream, the usual people that we talk about. We talk about Black history. I really enjoyed bringing everyone, first of all, I'm proud of all my friends, but also the fact that everyone has a different, unique person. So I'm super excited to see what Maryam finds out.
Hi, Darren.
Hello.
Darren's like,
No, that's okay. It was very fascinating. I was trying to figure out if I went to go get my hair cut by Kamara. I'm not sure if she'd have enough to work with. I'm not, maybe.
No, really wouldn't have a lot to work with here.
So I didn't know. Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
No. I was just tending to the comments. We've had some comments going on for tonight, so this should be a fabulous moment. I'm sure this is what a lot of folks have been curious about this individual, about this location. Just that's what makes this evening rather special. So enough blah blah for me, and I'll let y'all give.
Do you want to, Maryam? Do you want like a little history lesson, a little bit of background?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's what I'm already feeling. Do I refer to her as the nanny?
You could say Queen Nanny, Granny Nanny, or Nanny.
The nanny. Okay, I'm going to stick with the nanny. Anyway, she's already here. So why don't you give a quick history, and then you guys, depending on where the information goes, I might ask all of you guys, you might need to steer the conversation to where like specific points you want to hit. I don't know, but don't be afraid to do that, Darren or Terry, Kamara, whomever. Like if she's just don't be afraid to interrupt and steer if needed. Okay. Just sometimes when the personalities are kind of big and overwhelming, I don't realize it, but they'll dominate it. And then at the end, we're like, well, what about this? And what about that? So you might, even if she's a dominant personality, jump in. Okay.
Oh, I bet you she's a dominant personality. Yeah, no, I would say she's a badass, and I'll let you guys know why she is a badass. Well, as I told you, Queen Nanny, Granny Nanny, or Nanny, Nanny of the Maroons. She was an 18th century leader of the Jamaican-Maroons. She led a community of formerly enslaved Africans called the Windward Maroons. Now, this was way back in the 18th century under her leadership that the Windward Maroons fought a guerrilla war over many years against British authorities in the colony of Jamaica in what became known as the First Maroon War. Nanny, though, is a bit of a mystery. As you can imagine, we're going back to the 18th century. According to oral tradition and at least one documentary source, she was never enslaved. Okay, so we're trying to figure out how she got there, because it's widely assumed that she arrived in Jamaica as a slave, but apparently did not. So there's a bit of mystery there. Now, during the years of the warfare, it was brutal, very bloody. The British suffered significant losses in their encounters with the Windward Maroons in eastern Jamaica. And this is the unexplained element that I found, that Maroons attributed their success against the British to the successful use of supernatural powers by the Nanny. Okay, I mentioned she was a badass. Well, some say she had magical powers. She could catch bullets and then redirect them back at people who shot at her. And today, because of what you can imagine, all the warfare that happened there, Nannytown is rumored to be haunted by the ghosts of Maroon warriors who died in the fight. Just to quickly go through this, the British finally said, okay, enough. They signed a treaty on April 20th of 1740. And that treaty, well, it promoted peace, stopped the hostilities, provided for state-sanctioned freedom of the Maroons, and granted 500 acres of land to Nanny and her followers. So the village was built in the land grant. It still stands today. It's Moortown. Some call it New Nannytown. Modern members of the Moortown celebrate the 20th of April 1740 as a holiday. Here's a couple of final facts. What an honor that was bestowed upon her. In 1975, the government of Jamaica declared Nanny as their only female national hero, celebrating her success as a leader, military tactician, and strategist. And her image is also on the Jamaican $500 note, which is called a nanny in Jamaican slang.
Wow.
Incredible accomplishments. If she could actually catch bullets in her teeth and shoot them back to the British, that would be something else. Maryam, I don't know if you could ask her about that or not.
Okay, so Kamara, the information I've been holding for the last few days, making me want to explode here. She said, so I'm letting her in really close because she's light. The first thing she said to you was, "Hi, baby." Like a grandma would say, or like a mother would say. You are definitely her lineage. Your family is definitely connected to her. She saw you came in and recognized it immediately. It was like this mother-daughter connection. At first I felt like you were her, but she's saying no, this was a mother-daughter connection. You were alive with her in that time. You were very young. You died very young, but you were one of her younger children. I don't know if she had children. I'm assuming she did, but she had you. She wants to address the whole bullet thing, and then we'll kind of go backwards. She was, when Darren was talking, she was saying, he talks a lot. I said he doesn't talk a lot.
I get that all the time. Sorry, Nanny.
She's anxious to talk. That's all. She was teasing. She's actually pretty funny. No, I didn't catch bullets with my teeth. She said, let me clarify. So I got to put my iPad down for this. This shit's getting deep here. Let me clarify. When there is fear of the unknown, stories will arise. Stories that make us feel comfortable with what we are witnessing. My abilities, my work was obviously a threat. Not, she says, and here's the thing, I'm as a Black woman, sure, there's the obvious intimidation. This disclaimer, this isn't me. She says, these white men were scared of women no matter what color they were. Never mind a Black woman. But for me, it was never about race. I understood what I came in to do. I used tunnels to escape slavery. I came over as a slave, I think is what she's saying, and then I used tunnels to escape. I hid out. I was hiding out. I managed to basically separate myself from the group. I came in knowing my task at hand. Even as a very young girl, I was fearless. And I was fully aware of who I was and my Jamaican magical skills. She said, I'm not going to get into why society has deemed voodoo. Yeah, she's saying voodoo as dark, just like anything. There's dark and light. But voodoo was something that was practiced regularly. It was witchcraft. It's not a big deal, but society makes it a big deal. When people use things in the negative, it happens. I used my power, which all women carried and had. Black women were not blessed with the ability to grow that power. My fearlessness as a young girl, 13, 14 years old, is when she was fully aware of who she was and what she was asked to do in this life, in this body, is when I started to nurture and use my magic, and was never afraid of it and didn't care if others were afraid of it. I didn't catch bullets with my teeth, although that would have been amazing. I was able to know and redirect troops, I'm assuming, people from getting hit. I use my intuition. It's not a big deal. That's, it was my intuition. She says, let's not that I'm downplaying it, but yes, I used my intuition and my ability to foresee where someone was coming from when they were coming the night before to win. And so, yes, that was absolutely utilized. And of course, like I said, that's why it scared everybody. But Kamara, you are part of the family, as well as some of your current family members are part of the family. This family lineage runs deep, and there's a lot of us. But you were, as a young girl, you were by my side. Now, I'm going to separate myself for a sec. I don't know if you were actually her child or if you were kind of scooped up by her, because I'm feeling like there was this, like she found you almost. It doesn't feel like blood for some reason. But I'm not going, I don't know. I'm trying to, she's really in her story and doesn't really stop talking. So I'm trying to so anyway, at this age, again, similar age to her, you were around 12, 13, 14, 15, is when she started to teach you her power, her magic, and the magic that just women in general carried. She started to teach you that. And you carried through, but you got a little cocky with it. You got a little messy with it. And that resulted in your death around in your 20s. But she is so she's saying, I'm so grateful to see you again. You guys were really, really close. And so she refers to you all as lineage, but she's also saying that you and your family actually do have lineage back back to rooting back to her. So, okay, questions.
Kamara, did you have any questions?
I want to know. Well, she said that she was a slave. So earlier I thought that she wasn't. Did she feel the need that she just wanted to help people, even though she was not a former slave?
So if I'm understanding you correctly, your question is, why did she do what she did?
Yes, basically. What made her, well, I know that she said she found her power and her truth in knowing that that's what she came for, but I kind of want her to ask a little bit more on how did she know that this was something that she was gonna do? Yeah.
What inspired it?
Okay, so she's like, it was just my intuition. I didn't have anyone around me. I didn't have parents. I mean, she had parents, but there wasn't a connection to the parents. There in meaning that for them to guide her or teach her anything. This was solely intuition, and it was at the age of 13 that she's an evolved soul. She just came into body and knew to follow her guidance and intuition, and that's what she did. She just followed this roadmap that her intuition laid out for her, and this roadmap is what brought her there. I mean, she's saying, I know it sounds really simple, but that's exactly what it was. She said, also keep in mind, I was incredibly fearless. And part of that fearlessness came from the knowing that my outcome was almost guaranteed. And so I utilized magic to not necessarily protect, but guard, be aware, know, always was aware of, like, eyes behind the head. And she used that to get her to where she was supposed to be. She watches over this land still. She has, it's like, we've seen this before many times with these powerful beings. They like come from an angelic space, come into body, do the work, go back into angelic form. And that's exactly what she did. And she's been watching over ever since. Her work, she's saying, for her, moving in and out of body, it's kind of like people just, to explain it, it's like someone traveling. For her, this is not unusual or difficult. This was just who she was. And she said it actually made it easier that I didn't have parental support or strong parental guidance, because they would have obviously steered me in a different direction. They would have been very scared. They would have instilled fear because they loved me. And she's saying, I'm not saying they weren't 100% there. They just weren't there enough that it gave me the freedom to run.
Wow.
Did she have any, she talks about being 13. Did she have any siblings at all, or any cousins that were her age when she was going through all of this?
So this is what I'm being shown. I'm being shown her at 13 or 14 by herself. Okay. I am being shown her like moving, like they said, moving through tunnels. Sometimes by herself, sometimes with other people, not many. It's just this bizarre existence of knowing how to escape things, which I know it's not bizarre because she used her intuition, but of course to us mere mortals, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't even use our intuition to manifest a freaking job. Never mind her like using it to manifest freaking tunnels to escape slavery.
Hey, Maryam, can I ask you about the tunnels? Because it was guerrilla warfare. Because usually I know the British would be like in a single formation type thing where they would, back in the 18th century. I was just curious, were the tunnels maybe used by the warriors to kind of get a better position when they would attack the British? Maybe that's when she was leading like her army, I guess, during battle.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. So are you saying that these tunnels I'm seeing maybe were happening later in life?
No, well, that's what I was wondering if it's maybe that they were using those during the actual battle that happened in Jamaica. You know, that was a way to, like I said, the British wouldn't know where they're coming from. Guerrilla warfare, they're kind of surrounding them. So I thought maybe that was one of her, tactics as a military leader. But maybe, I mean, I just throwing it out there. I just thought I found that just because she did. Okay.
Yes. She said yes. The thing is, I don't know who made these tunnels and where they came from. And maybe it's not an actual, an actual tunnel. It's some sort of, I don't know. It's
like a bunker, maybe something like that. Trenches instead of something like that.
It's got to be. It could be. Yes, but yes, all of those were utilized. Like she was again, because she came straight from this angelic realm. Her awareness and connection was incredible. She wasn't like us, again, I keep using the word mere mortal. She wasn't like that. And she didn't connect with a lot of people, meaning she didn't tell people that can speak about her, did it because they witnessed, not because she shared. And it wasn't because she didn't want to connect with people. It was simply that she had a job to do. And didn't need to engage others in her and her life and why and all of that.
Wow.
Were there any oppositions to her? You know how when people are coming into leadership, being a female in this culture?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Exactly.
Was there any opposition to her taking leadership?
Yeah, but none of that. But so what, she says.
No, that's what I was going to say. If you think about that, back in the 18th century, can you imagine a female leading this big group of warriors to take on the British? It's just fascinating. It's like she did maybe have some type of a supernatural power or something, but they looked at, she was just such a powerful individual.
Yeah, trusted. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she practiced her magic, She wants to say something to the two of you, though. I'm trying to hear what she's coming in to say, ladies, using the strength and the power that comes from the heart, that lives in the soul, that comes in a body with you, that guidance, that radar, if you will never steer you wrong. But understanding your responsibility with magic, with female intuition, with this power that we all bring in, but very few practice, is uniquely special in Black women and has to be harnessed, managed, and manipulated very specifically. One of my gifts was the ability to do it in a way that didn't outwardly scare others. Others were scared for their own reasons. Right. We talked about that. But I utilized who I was in a way that didn't consciously scare others. This allowed opposition to move in pretty close, because the closer my enemy was, the more I could navigate them. And when you apply that to your life, you move that enemy in closer. That way you can navigate the ins and outs. You learn.
That's good. That's wow. Wow. Maryam, Jordan Riley asked the question, does the name Jeremiah mean anything? She just picked up on that name.
She's saying my brother.
Wow. Okay.
Hang on, she has something else to say. Okay, so when Black women are asked to interact, manage with a white man that is intimidated, fearful, uncertain, the best way to bring them to their knees, and I don't mean literally, I mean figuratively, and I mean in a way that is very vulnerable, heart conscious, loving, compassionate, is to feel their fear, is to feel their misunderstanding of who we are. And when you can look that fear in the eye and feel it as compassion for that man because of their lack of understanding, keep in mind they have to accept a woman's intuition and then a Black woman's intuition. She's laughing. She says, you know how hard that is for a man that isn't strong in who he is? It's very intimidating. It's not for you to pass judgment. It's for you to find compassion. And then that compassion will tell you to step around that person or to move through that person, because now you're connected and can communicate. I didn't do what I did with hate, with fear, with insecurity. I did what I did with confidence, passion, compassion, and understanding. I never feared, nor did I ever hate anybody. That is your weakness. Hate and fear put you at the same level as them. I never wanted to be on that level. I always knew I wasn't on that level. So I rose to the occasion. No one could have supported my work because all of my peers lived in fear.
Wow. Wow. Did you have any other questions, Kamara?
Yeah, I wonder, does she feel at peace with the work that she has done? Does she feel that she wish she did more, or is she okay with, is she at peace with the work that she's done?
It came in and did exactly what I was supposed to do.
Wow.
Cool. And has she, I know we talked about what she handed down to Kamara in that incarnation. Did she have, with this, did she have an Orisha? Did she have like well, it's not in voodoo, I don't think it's a saint, it's an Orisha. Did she have someone who she communicated with that guided her, that was there a specific entity that guided her?
Yes, she laughs because she goes, funny that you of all people, Terry, would ask that. You scared of your own shadow, like Maryam had said earlier. You want to know who I listen to. She's funny. She's laughing and smiling. Krishna. Sarah, how do you say it? Swate?
Swate, yeah. Okay. Wow.
Maya.
Yeah, Maya? Oh.
I worked with everyone because different situations asked for different magic, different work. She said, I even worked with Jesus. He was the one that helped me manage the white man. She said, you can't do something like this by yourself. And laughing.
How are we connected as far as family? Can she talk a little bit more about in ways that our family is connected?
Yeah, this is where I'm having a struggle. She keeps saying there is blood lineage in your family connected to her. But where I'm getting stuck, I'm not understanding you and Kamara, because it's looking like a non-blood adopted type. Yes. Okay. So the lifetime that I'm seeing you. Okay. She's saying, okay, yes, there's lineage in your family connected to her, but the lifetime that you worked with her, you were not blood in that life. Again, she saw herself in you, and basically, you know, she knew you were going to implode. She knew you didn't have, this was kind of your first round with the skill set. But still, it was her role to initiate and teach.
Oh, wow.
Well, then that, I mean, for me, what popped into my head as you were saying that is the name of Kamara's salon. I mean, it's intuition.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, and it's raw.
Yeah.
For someone like
Exactly.
like her, who the nanny who had no teachings, right? It was raw. It was pure.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Raw intuition.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
She has something to say to Darren. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad
I
thing.
feel like you're in trouble, like you're in school.
She's like, get your history right, dude.
She said no. She said everything that you said is true. She said, I want you to. She said, I'm really stuck on that one image of me catching bullets with my mouth.
Does she consider herself a hero? That was the one thing, you know, to me, she seems like a hero.
Hang on.
Okay.
Darren, knock it off and start following your intuition, for God's sake. She said, I'm sick and tired of you pushing it aside and pretending like you are smaller than women or smaller than anyone else. You've been pushed around for too long. Knock it off and step up.
Well, tell her I've been married for 25 years. So I've been pushed around a lot, but I'll step it up a little bit.
She said, no excuse. Your wife isn't a bully. You.
I said, tell the nanny I quit. I'm quitting my job tomorrow. I'm done.
Your wife is not a bully. You are just very insecure and you don't trust who you are. She said you're a good man and you're a good example of a good white man, and you should embrace that and own it and be stronger with it. Be confident with it. Thank you, she says.
Well, tell her
Wish
thank
I
you
cut
also.
bullets. She keeps saying, God, I wish I cut bullets with my teeth.
It's a great story.
It's a great story.
It is.
You asked something though, Darren? What was it?
Oh no, does she consider herself a hero? Because everybody in the country thinks she's a hero for what she did. To me, she seems very heroic. Or was it just something she's like, hey, you know, spirit or God or whatever told me to step up and do this? I was just curious if, you know, she looks back and goes, well, maybe.
She said, listen, I'm in spirit world. I don't require or acknowledge or experience levels, accolades, anything of that sort. If you all want to experience that emotion towards me, please do. But only do it if you know that you are aspiring to be like me, not because you think you could never be me.
Wow.
Don't fuck with her, man.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I wouldn't, man. No way.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is. It truly is.
Oh,
But it's yeah, a little tight.
my neck started to like
cramp up.
yeah. I
No,
was
wait a
like,
minute.
can I be done?
You've never needed a chiropractor after any of these things. So what are we doing?
There's always a first time.
We knew this was gonna be a ride. We knew it. We knew
She,
it.
as soon as like I felt my neck, she was like, honey, you're done. What are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm talking to you.
Oh my God.
She's
Wow.
she's like a, what's interesting is not like okay, so on one hand, you know how you feel a maternal figure feels, right? You know how a maternal figure feels, like this warmth and whatever. She's not that. She's a strength that doesn't dote on you. It's a strength of just get up.
Yeah.
I'm here if you need me, but I'm not helping you get up. And it's just this fascinating, scary energy. Scary. I mean, scary in a, as a compliment. Like, it's like, wow. Like how when I would talk, not if anyone watches my other show, how I talk about Daisy, she's just this massive being that you can't sneak around. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as they appear, you're like, what? and that's how the Nanny was. As soon as she appeared, I was like, okay, like, and it's not that it's fear, it's this desire to meet her where she is, this desire to be as big as she wants you to be. Like, I'm not going to have a conversation about being small. That's like her. Like, I'm not going to talk about it. Just
right.
She's really, she's someone that we can all call on for guidance. Right. All of us, Rick included, even though she didn't lecture Rick. It's like,
I didn't say anything about catching bullets, so I mean, I was nobody. I was in the backstage, so
I want to just edit out the lecture to Darren and just like.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, I didn't expect I was gonna get that tonight, but yeah,
that sounds like a reading Maryam. I've got one. But I kind of get the feeling that Kamara, you've been pulling on her energy without even knowing it all these years. Because for her to say Rawwintuition and then all of that started, I was like, okay, this is a real connection for sure.
No, that's so cool. I definitely feel though that energy that she gives about just doing what you need to do and not second guessing or thinking twice about it. It seems like she's just very focused, and I love that. I love that energy.
Well, and I think the word is just comfortable in being powerful. And I think that all human beings are powerful, but they aren't comfortable, and they're actually incredibly uncomfortable with the sense of being powerful. And powerful not meaning I can make a lot of money. It's powerful just meaning who we are as spiritual beings inside a human body. And she's just, embodies that of just like, stop making being powerful a thing. Just be it. It takes more work and effort. She's saying, she's still talking, to it takes more work and effort to be small. It takes more work and energy to be fearful, to be like this, to not speak up. It takes more energy to do that, she's saying, than to just be it. And she said, I learned that at such a young age, to just walk it. Like it didn't make sense to me, she's saying. It was like, when I had this moment of weakness, it like sucked the life out of me. And I was like, why would anyone choose that? And then I remembered strength and was like, oh, well, it's much easier to just do that. And she says it like, it's, come on. It's much easier to just do that. God, she's so cool. The one being I want to hang out and not go away.
Exactly.
See? Well, and I think that is a perfect point to wrap it up, since we've only got about just a minute here. So, any final thoughts, Kamara, for what you've experienced?
This was amazing. Thank you, Maryam. I really appreciated just hearing, kind of understanding where she's coming from. I feel so much better, and it's almost like a reminder for myself, especially knowing the history and the culture of Jamaica, and especially from my parents and myself, that, just to have someone like that and pushing, to just be strong and to continue and just do it, like, that is great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to know
do it anyway.
to know that you're part of that, whether you like it or not. And thank you for bringing her to all of us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
I dropped a link to your Instagram in the comments, so in case anybody wants to reach out to you, follow you, find out everything that's going on with you, they can do that. But what an amazing night. So
great night.
Thank you.
Yet again, another wonderful celebration of Black History. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Maryam, Darren, Terry, especially Kamara. Everybody, have a good night.
Bye.
Yeah, wait. Sir.